Okay, hi everyone. Today I'm talking about the Facebook Conversion API, 3 ways to set up using GTM server-side. First of all, I want to apologize for my not perfect English, but I will do my best. So, a little presentation about me. I'm Matteo Zambon. I'm the founder of Tag Manager Italia. And I'm really honored to be an official beta tester of GTM last year, and in this year, I was nominated for the Digital Analytics Association Quantis Award as top practitioner. If you want to connect with me, you can find me on Twitter or and LinkedIn. So, what we will see: Conversion API prerequisites, parameters, 3 ways to set up using a GTM server site with a 3 specific demo live. I will show you 3 ways to set up the Facebook Conversion API with and without Google Analytics Universal and GA4. As you probably know, Conversion API is used after the iOS 14 impact. Since February 2019, the cookie add-on, it was a great problem for the attribution and the tracking. But the ATT, App Tracking Transparency, it is the main problem for Facebook. This is because the IDFA on the device is not available for the app if the user doesn't allow the sharing. So Facebook tries to fix it, but technical fix is not possible. Facebook declares significantly impact data sharing using the Facebook Pixel and or Conversion API. This is the Facebook documentation about the Conversion API. I will share my slide, so don't worry about the link. And these are the prerequisites to use Conversion API. And if you use client-side Pixel and Conversion API solution, you must use the event ID. Otherwise, there is no deduplication event. You must generate access token or on Pixel settings. Go to Events Manager, Data Sources, choose your Pixel, go to Settings, and click Generated Access Token. So this is a little screenshot about the settings and how to generate access token. And grab the test event. Thanks to the access token and the test event code, you can easily check server-side requests. Just go to the test event and take the test number, but we will see together in few minutes. This is the classic configuration with the official Facebook tags. So we have a lot of Facebook tags and a lot of GA4 tags. But my tip is I suggest you to use my template variable GA4 items to Facebook object converter. We will see this solution. Just because the tag you have to insert in the tag of the Facebook Pixel Facebook, you have to insert the details of every single parameters, contents ID and so on. And with my custom template, you can do it very quickly and easily. And this is a custom JavaScript variable to set up the unique event ID for the deduplication event. So it's a smart solution to grab the unique specific events to use for the client Facebook Pixel and the server event with the Conversion API. So this is how it works. So if you have the event ID, we have the a specific number of the event, and this is my custom variable that we have a contents ID value, number of the items, contents, and so on, all the parameters of the conversion API. So, see the first live demo, Google Analytics 4 helps Facebook API conversion. And let's do it together. So I change my screen. This is the first conversion, the first setup. This is the conversion Facebook with Google Analytics 4. I use the template, the custom template of Facebook. So, for example, this is the add to cart pixel conversion. We use the standard event. This is, of course, the a variable with my pixel number. I have this is the pixel number. I'm already on the test event with my test ID, and I choose my template. My variable is my custom variable of the official gallery, just to set up the default currency and the product type of your pixel. And I convert the items GA4 to Facebook GA4. Otherwise, you have to insert with the parameter just with add property and insert manually every single parameter with every single value. So this is a little problem to set up all events. Of course, you can insert the customer information data parameters if you have, of course, that parameters, and this is how it works. So for every single events in GA4, so add to cart, add payment info, begin checkout, purchase, view item, I create a specific template on my Facebook pixel. And this is all my GA4 events. So I go to the preview mode. Of course, I have already a demo website, and this is my preview. I created a GTM server-side version just with the text, the official text Facebook Conversion API, just to set up the Facebook ID pixel, the access token for the API, and this is the test event code. So this is the number here. I choose the triggering with Google Analytics 4. So the reason is when I put the events on GA4, my server side is listen to that specific hit. I choose only a specific hit, view item, add to cart action, remove from cart, view cart, begin checkout, but not all events for GA4, but only for the specific events that I want to track with my Facebook server-side conversion API. And so this is the rule. So of course in GA4 you have to change the parameter in the configuration event just to change the transport URL GTM tag manager. This is my URL for my GTM server side, and this is how it works. So I already use the conversion API, so I have to, of course, click preview and use the preview mode with my server side. So if I add to basket, I can see in my GTM server side, this is the request for GA4, but I use this request with just not only for GA4, but with Facebook server conversion. The status is 200, so is great. And this is my event ID is the same of my pixel, and this is my event name. So if I go to my test view. Maybe I have to refresh because sometimes the test is not so smart. This is my ID. I check my test ID because sometimes change. Okay, it seems the same. So I try to add to cart. This is the browser, and this is the server-side event. So I have the pixel ID. Here we are. This is the last, of course. This is my ID of my conversion of my event with pixel Facebook, and this is my event ID. And we have the same event ID here on my conversion API. So if I go to the view content, for example, to the detail of the product, we have the page view and the view content, and we have the same in the conversion API. So this is the first way to set the conversion API with GA4. So for every single GA4 event, I use a specific tags in Google in Facebook Pixel, and so this is how it works. So this is my Facebook Pixel. This is my contents ID. So is completely handled by my GA4 items to Facebook. So this is a really nice, smart solution. So this is the first way to do this. The second way, the second configuration is without Google Analytics conversion and the measurement protocol. And I choose this solution. This solution is developed by Murai. You can find this on the GitHub. They develop 3 types, the tags of Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager Container Web, the client and the tag for the GTM server side. So let's do it with this another solution. I, of course, choose the another solution. This is another implementation. I use these tags. So these are not the official tags of Google Analytics, but this is another tags, the @Samurai Facebook. You can choose this directly in the template gallery. So it is in the official templates gallery. And the smart way is you can choose here if you want to send directly only for conversion API, only for Facebook Pixel Web, so the client tracking ID version, or both. So you can insert the tag management server URL. You can choose a different path to swipe with another path of your server. So I have to change my configuration. So I import the second configuration in my server tag. So this is my second. Here we are. Okay. So I have just only a tag. This is you have to insert in the templates with. You have to download this version because it's not in the server-side templates in the gallery, but you have to install directly here. So we have the tag and the client template. The client template is how the server-side listen the request through this client tag. So this is the tag client version, and this is the server version. So I create the listener, the client, with Facebook ID, access token, and test event code. This is the URL Facebook that I have to put on the path of my URL. So of course you can change it if you want, and you can add other parameter. The problem of this solution is you have to insert and grab on your website the contents ID and so on. In this case, I create other templates variables to grab directly the information on the data layer. So I have to change my client GTM on my website. So I change very quickly. Here we are. And I preview this version of client, GTM client, GTM web. And of course I have do the same with my server-side implementation. So this is directly without Google Analytics Universal or GA4. So this is my tags, and where is my? Okay, here we are. So we have the page view. Maybe I have already the page view. This is the page view. In the tags, in these tags, you can choose if you want to put your event ID with, for example, the JavaScript variable that I used in the before, or you can choose auto-generated ID. So is the tag that uses the same ID for this client and the server side tag. So it's already okay. We clean up here, and I try to add to basket. I don't know if I okay. Add. Okay, here we have the page view and add to cart event. This is the event ID with tags adds samurai, and we have the event. So the request is completely different with GA4 because I don't use the GA4 client but the add samurai client, and we have other parameters here. But the tags of the Facebook add samurai can use this type of event. So we have the same solution with a specific tags only for Facebook. So this is another smart solution to do this. So let's go to the last solution. The last solution is Facebook and Google Universal Analytics. Maybe is the most used case because maybe not all people use the GA4 on the production website, and so maybe this is the solution with the Google Analytics Universal. So I use stape.io. You can use the tags. This is the server tag. So you have to download in GitHub because it's not on the template gallery. So let's see how it works. So I have another GTM configuration. So I have to change my GTM on my website. Here we are. And in this case, I use my version of Pixel Facebook. I can use the tags for Facebook just to track the client solution. I create this advanced custom HTML that convert the Universal and GA4 for the pixel event. So it's not a template, it's a custom HTML. So it's another way to create the pixel version of the client. So I use a trigger to understand all events for my Facebook. So view content, add to cart, and so on. But this is the universal Google Analytics universal events on the data layer. I go to the preview mode, and for server side, go to connect, and for server side, I have to import the third way. So I have to change my server GA universal. Yep.
You have about 7-8 minutes left.
Yep.
And there are also some questions in the Q&A that might be nice to answer,
yep.
just to give you a heads up.
Yep. I have the client ID, the client Universal Analytics, and the tags of GTM step.io, Facebook GTM server. And so just to insert the FB API token, FB ID, and so on. And just to put the preview mode, and let's see the action. So add to cart. We have the add to cart. Add to cart is with the universal. So this is the universal. This is my custom HTML with the client Facebook, and I can see here the add to cart. This is the first version, so is the universal request client, and I use Facebook GTM server side. So this is how it works. So the same thing in different way, in another different way. So 3 different clients, GA4, Facebook Ads Samurai, so it's a different, completely different client request, and Universal Analytics with 3 different tags of server side. So my last word is use Google Tag Manager server side and Google Analytics for and Conversion API Facebook wisely. This is the bit.ly for the slide, is already on the slide share, and please do it wisely. Okay, keep in touch if you have any question or suggestion, they will be appreciated. Okay, so
I think there are several questions in the Q&A.
Okay.
One that got the most upvotes was by Sebastian Monnier. Does any of the...
I'm sorry. Okay.
Which Facebook's client managed cookie to server managed cookie to avoid ITP limitation?
No, absolutely no. The ITP is only for the client if the cookie is created by client side. If it is created by server side, the ITP is not restricted that cookie. Brave is the only browser that have a restriction for the server side cookie for 6 months, but you can see all of this information through the website cookiestatus.com by Simoava, if you want to understand better how cookie server side and how the cookie client side works.
Okay. Then another question by Mark. So your idea to this is that server-side GTM will be impossible to block on the front end, right? Because as I understood, the event is created on front end in the data layer or GTM, so that's not handled by backend.
Okay. Of course, in this version, I can choose to explain with the GTM website, a GTM container web. But of course, you can do it directly with the website. So if your website, if you use some plugins for the on the WordPress like Pixel Your Site or Pixel Cafe, is your your server that puts the request directly on the server, GTM server side, or directly with API in Facebook. So this is an example, a way with use GTM web container and GTM server side. But there is other solution to do this without GTM web container, without to expose the request by browser and by client side, if you want. So there is a other way to do this. So in my case, I use the data layer because I have the information on the data layer. And it's about because I love GTM, and so I explain this solution with the GTM.
Okay. And then one more question. Did you see any real improvement from using this conversions API to the regular pixels?
The only reason to use conversion API is because you don't have a missing hit through the client side, because ad blocker or the browser itself can block the endpoint of the request for Facebook, for Google Analytics, Google Ads, and so on. The conversion API is the server-side way to grab that information. So 100% of the hit that you do it on your that the user do it on the website, you have the same number of the hits on the server side. So it's just to grab the 20% the missing hit. So the answer is yes, but it's not the magic wand to fix the problem of iOS.
Okay, and then one more question by Stephanie. Why choose the one solution over the other?
It's your choice. It depends of your. If you have already a data layer configuration with a universal, of course, for you is the last solution is the quick solution, because you have already the data layer with the data for all action. If you use GA4, you have that solution. If you don't use GTM for Google Analytics, you can use other solution. So it depends of your intent and for your situation.
Okay. And then one more, and let's make this the final question.
Yeah, I recorded this session with in my laptop, so I will share that video with my perfect English.
I think your English was very nice, Matteo.
Oh,
I would like to thank you for doing the session. Thank you for your time.
Of course, if you have another question, grab me on the other room, and I will. I'm glad to help you to understand better that way. I know in 30 minutes show all this stuff is a really small time, but I hope that the main thing is passed. Yeah, it will be passed. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And to everyone, enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay. Thank you, guys.